everybody. Welcome. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. It is Friday, May 26, 2023, as we move into Memorial Day weekend, which is, of course, I heard it referred to in that clip from the History Channel, kind of an explainer of the, if you heard it, if you were tuning in at the beginning, an explainer of the origins of Memorial Day and how we came to commemorate the holiday. But I noticed in the clip, it referred to it as the official start of the summer season. But I thought it was the unofficial start of the summer season. I thought the official start of summer was the day that summer officially begins. On the calendar, June something, like June 21st or something. But so I would, not to nitpick, I would call it the unofficial start of the summer season. But anyway, it matters not. But of course, more importantly, a day that we honor those who have fought for the country and perished in doing so. And so it is very important. And also, so we played that, and we also played, of course, Molly Tried to Ruin My Life, a song from Angry Joe and the Holy Sox. And Joe Williams from the band is going to be calling in, actually Skyping in, I should say. They are in the great state of Texas. It's too bad Texas Mike isn't here with us today, from the great state of Texas. And he sent us a bunch of great music. I'm really looking forward to talking to him. So that will be coming up today at 5 p.m. At around 4:30, though, we have Erich Pilcher's classic film review, and the subject this week is Saving Private Ryan. Of course, a very appropriate film as we do, like I said, as we move into Memorial Day weekend. So busy show today, and someone is on the line. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt. It's Pauly.
Pauly C. from Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. How are you?
Good. I almost slipped into an impression there. Almost.
Oh.
Who said that it's not the unofficial? Because it is the unofficial. The official day of summer is the first day of summer.
Right. That explainer that I played at the top of the show from the History Channel. It's just like a 3-minute explainer of the origins of Memorial Day, how it was established, referred to it as the official start of the summer season. And I was just being nitpicky, and I say, no, it's the unofficial start of the summer season.
It is the unofficial day.
Right.
So whatever college intern working over at the History Channel created that needs to be smacked around. That's not correct.
Well, now, Paul, I would never advocate for violence, but I do think whoever did that should be fired if they are in fact working there, and I think they should be blacklisted, and I think they should be doxxed, and I think they should be never allowed to even be seen in public again.
No, they should be demoted to like something lame on the History Channel, like, I don't know, Duck Dynasty or something.
Right, something like that. Yes, but yes,
right.
they
I
must.
don't think they should necessarily lose their job. They should just go to something like that.
Well, yeah. Well, you did say they should be smacked around. I'm just trying to avoid any smacking. That's assaulting.
Not physically.
I don't believe.
Metaphorically speaking.
Right. I don't believe in corporal punishment. Of course, I have no children,
right.
As you do not either. So we've never been in the position where it's even come up, really. But no smacking. This is a smack-free zone.
No, a good talking to.
Yes, and a stern one at that.
Right, a verbal smacking around. Like, what are you thinking?
I would wag my finger. I would wag my finger right in that person's face.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Unofficial. It's the unofficial day of summer.
Yes.
Memorial Day.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. Ooh. Oh, well, what can you do?
Glad we got that out of the way.
Not everyone's as conscientious as we are, Pauly C.
I'm a minute and a half away from 72 hours off. So.
Ooh, good for you. Are you excited?
Very much so.
Yes. Well,
you know why? You know what I'm excited most about, right?
I think I can guess.
Well, it's the triumphant return of our co-host, Mike Pelopita, tonight on Retro Spectrum Radio.
Oh.
That's what I'm most excited about.
Oh, very good. I didn't know that part. I assumed you were going to say Retro Spectrum Radio, but I didn't know Mike Pelopita was returning this evening. That is outstanding. It will be wonderful to see him.
Yes, he will be. I mean, unless, of course, he gets hit by a bus on the way in.
Well,
but heaven forbid. But with Mike's luck these days, who knows?
I know. And Mike, of course, we should remind everyone, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3. He is the proprietor of Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall.
That's right.
Yes.
They're in the Wonder Bread Plaza. We'll see you tonight at 8. AC/DC, Brian Johnson years tonight.
Yes.
With, of course, a intro tonight doing a tribute to the late, great Tina Turner.
Yes, wonderful. I look forward to that, Paul, and we'll see you this evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was our friend Pauly C. from Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. Friday nights from 8 to 11 p.m. And Friday is my favorite day of the week here at WMNH. It's my long day here. I'm here with you 4 to 6 p.m. And then I'm back tonight, 8 to 11 p.m. as one of Pauly C.'s co-hosts on that show, along with DJ Steve and our friend Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, who became also an official co-host and then got injured. And it's just been a series of calamities. But we will see him this evening, it sounds like. So that is wonderful. So Retro Spectrum Radio tonight from 8 to 11 p.m. If you'd like to join us, 603-250-6007. The studio line is open, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and fully enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. But yes, if you're just joining us, we do have a busy show planned for you today. Coming up a little bit just after 4:30, we're going to do Erich Pilcher's classic film review. And this week, the subject is the 1998 film with Tom Hanks and Matt Damon. And I think there's at least one or two other big names in it too. Saving Private Ryan. So that's going to be coming up. Erich thought that would be appropriate for the show going into Memorial Day. We won't be here Monday. We're off Monday for the holiday, but we will be. So we're going to do that today. Erich's film review, Saving Private Ryan. And then coming up at 5 p.m., we'll be joined via Skype by Joe Williams from the band Angry Joe and the Holy Socks. And really looking forward to talking with him as well. And our friend Ron is on the line. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Matt. Just making chit-chat, looking forward to Pauly's show, and you answered my question that you will not be here on Monday.
Yes.
But did you get a chance to glance at that magazine, and did you like it?
I have perused it a little bit, and I do like it. Yes, I haven't had a chance to really read it yet, but
sure.
Hopefully this weekend. There's some cool pictures in there, too, that I've never seen, which is always
that's good,
nice.
Then. Very good.
Yeah. So, no, I appreciate it, Ron, and I enjoyed the donuts.
Okay, good. Yeah. I was sitting there. I was at the cash out line, and I saw it, and I was like, I bet you Matt might like that. I said, part of me said, he probably already knows all this, but I thought, what the heck?
Yeah, no, it's cool though. It's cool to read some articles that I hadn't seen before and pictures that I hadn't seen before. So I appreciate it, Ron.
All right, but before I let you go, one last final question: did you ever find out what those whistleblowers did wrong?
Yeah, the
FBI guys.
That gets a little complicated, and I don't know. I know I promised we'd get to it this week, but I've been really bogged down with the debt limit, talking about that a lot this week. So next week we will we might have to get into that next week. But there's really two sort of concurrent big stories. One having to do with the Durham report, and the other having to do with the FBI whistleblower that you were talking about. And it's a lot to get into. So we got to do it on a day where we've got a lot of time. It's been a very busy week here on the program, or a program, as I think they say on the BBC, the program.
Hey, have a good day, have a good night, and a good weekend.
All right, thank you, Ron. You too, my friend.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, that was our friend Ron. Always nice to hear from him, and that does open up the line for you. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont joins us and says, hey, guys. Hello, Melanie. Pauly C. also in the chat room. We just heard from Paul on the phone, of course. Crystal from the great state of Illinois joins us. Hello, Crystal. Melanie giving Paul a hard time in the chat room. That's funny. J-Fed also from the great state of Vermont joins us. Rhonda Favero from the great state of California says hi, everyone. Melanie, skeptical about our friend Mike from Queen City Cabinetry. She says, yeah, right. You guys are always slinging that BS. Mike isn't showing up tonight. I don't know. I believe it. I'll believe it until, it gets to be showtime and he's not here. No, I do believe it. I've got a good feeling about this. Got a good feeling. Let's see. Couple other things too. Of course, we have, if you missed yesterday's show, by the way, please go back and check it out. We had Kevin Horan on the program. He's a frequent guest at the Hop Knot. They do live music at our wonderful sponsor, the Hop Knot, every Saturday night. And Kevin is playing there in June. I think it was June 24th is what Allie had said in the chat room. But, yeah, he plays there quite a bit, and he came in and played live for us in studio yesterday, and we had a great conversation, too. Fantastic. Really loved getting to hear him live. So if you missed yesterday's show, please check it out. He's really incredible. But they've got some other things going on at the Hop Knot that we want to mention as well. So tomorrow at the Hop Knot, this is up on social media. Kenny posted this. Saturday, we're doing I hope Governor DeSantis of Florida is not in the state campaigning, because if he runs into this, he'll be very upset. Poor Governor DeSantis. I mean, it'd be terrible to, have to bother him after he had that little bit of a fiasco on Twitter Spaces doing his announcement the other night. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so tomorrow at the Hop Knot, they're doing drag trivia to raise money for New Leaders Council, New Hampshire. I'm not familiar with that organization, but I'll have to learn about them. But it's for New Leaders Council, New Hampshire. It says we'll have some raffles, prizes, and some drag numbers from Chi-Chi Marvel and Glam Chowda. And I believe I'm familiar with the individual who plays Glam Chowda. I believe he's been on the program. From House of Marvel Entertainment, please call and reserve spots. So that will be happening tomorrow at the Hop Knot, and also tomorrow at the Hop Knot they have. I'm not sure if it's Mike Barger or Mike Barger. I'm not sure how to say it, but from tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. So the event, the fundraiser, Drag Trivia fundraiser, is in the afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. And then Mike Barger, I'm going to go with Barger, is playing tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Hop Knot. So they've got a couple things going tomorrow. And they've also got those delicious gourmet pretzels and that wonderful assortment of craft beer. And also, too, I'll just mention what Paul's got going on tonight, what he has planned, what we have planned for Retro Spectrum Radio. I mean, he's the one who actually does the planning. But this is what he posted. He referenced it briefly on the call, but just to give a little bit more detail, this is from social media. Paul posted, last year on Retro Spectrum Radio, we presented an evening of AC/DC songs with lead singer Bon Scott, and tonight we'll be featuring AC/DC with lead singer Brian Johnson. He's the dude who took over for Bon when he unexpectedly died in 1980. Bon sang Highway to Hell, Brian sang Back in Black. But first, at 8 p.m., we'll start the show with a tribute to the great Tina Turner. Do join us. And by the way, for that show, we love it when people join us in the Facebook live chat on Facebook, of course. Well, that is where you'd find a Facebook live chat, right? If you go to the Retro Spectrum Radio Facebook page, join us in the chat room during the show, but open a second browser tab, go to WMNHradio.org, and you can hear all the audio uninterrupted. Paul mutes the Facebook feed, so that way we don't get knocked off of Facebook in the middle of the show while we're chatting with you guys while the music's on. So Paul mutes that. So chat with us on Facebook, but stream the audio uninterrupted at WMNHradio.org. Let's see. We have a few more people who have entered the chat room here, I think. I don't know how to say this, but we have a friend in the Facebook live chat. I'm not going to butcher your name, but we have a friend in the Facebook live chat who says, greetings from Uganda libertarians. Well, hello to you and welcome. Also, Tom Blanchard joins us in the Facebook live chat. Tom says, hi, Matt, just getting over Coldzilla, feeling good now. Oh, you had a cold. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Jenny is in the chat room, of course, and says, shalom, peeps. Scott Robinson joins us and says, have a great Memorial Day weekend, my fellow Connartonites. Yes, hello, and happy Memorial Day weekend to you, Scott. And Eric Street joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, ooh, good band, good band. So it sounds like Eric is an AC/DC fan. Very good, very good. Just a few minutes, we're going to get to Erich Pilcher's classic film review for this week. But I suppose here's what we've been talking about it all week, the debt limit. This is what I'm seeing right now on USA Today at usatoday.com. Biden and McCarthy getting, quote, closer to debt ceiling deal before clock runs out. It says White House and Republican negotiators are getting closer to a deal to raise the debt ceiling before next Thursday, 6 days from now, according to a Democratic source familiar with talks, as President Joe Biden and lawmakers prepare to leave Washington for the long Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, apparently, well, they already left, so the House is adjourned, but apparently they need to, they were told by McCarthy, be ready to be on your way back here on 24 hours notice. In case a deal is reached, we're going to need to get the legislation written and then vote. There are still some hurdles. Even once they reach a deal, there's still some other hurdles to clear. Oh, Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, hi there, happy Friday. Hello, Miriam. And Biden apparently is going to Camp David, but, you know, he can be, I mean, when you're the president, you can really work from anywhere, but he won't be far. I mean, he can, you know, he can be brought back to the White House in a matter of minutes, really, from Camp David. So it says here, the two sides working into Thursday evening made progress on annual spending caps. One of the main sticking points in negotiations, according to the source. A potential compromise would cap annual discretionary spending for 2 years, less than the 6 years Republicans have sought, but essentially keeping spending levels flat for domestic programs. The deal would raise the debt ceiling, which sets a limit on how much the government can borrow through the end of 2024. In another concession to Republicans, a deal in the works would roll back $10 billion of the $80 billion in IRS funding approved in Biden's Inflation Reduction Act last year that was designed to crack down on wealthy Americans and corporations that evade taxes. A report from Reuters said Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy were $70 billion apart on discretionary spending in a slimmed-down bill expected to emerge that will detail top-line numbers for yearly spending. McCarthy has said he wants to spend less in the next fiscal year than last year. The White House declined to comment. Biden said in remarks Thursday, quote, they're making progress. I've made clear time and again that defaulting on our national debt is not an option, unquote. Biden is racing to reach a deal with House Republicans demanding budget spending cuts to get their support to raise the debt ceiling before next Thursday, which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said is the earliest date for a possible default. Thorny issues remain, Republicans say. The White House and House Republicans sounded more optimistic Thursday than earlier this week when McCarthy said sides were still far apart. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said White House negotiations have had productive discussions with Republicans and reiterated that the only path forward is bipartisan legislation that gets support from lawmakers in both parties. Representative Patrick McHenry, Republican of North Carolina, one of the top Republican negotiators, told reporters yesterday, quote, the work that we're doing centers on a shorter and shorter array of issues. Closer, yes. Is it more difficult? Yes, unquote, describing thorny issues that remain. In addition to spending caps, talks between the White House and House Republicans have centered on Republicans' proposals for stricter work requirements for recipients of food stamps and other welfare benefits, expedited permitting, I should say, for oil and gas projects, and rescinding COVID-19 relief money. One of the remaining holdups is finalizing an agreement on work requirements, which the White House has resisted. This goes on for a bit. Well, it's a pretty extensive article, actually. But here's how I see things now. I think they may or may not come to a deal. If they do come to a deal, they've got to get it through both the House and the Senate. My prediction at this moment is this. It's not that I think we'll default. I think they may very well get a deal. I don't think they can get something that will pass both houses. And I do think that next week Biden will announce, because it will be down to the wire. Because even if they get to a deal, before any votes even take place, they have to write the legislation, which apparently isn't that hard. You write the legislation, in this case, according to the deal that you made. And then there's the 72-hour rule that McCarthy has said he will not budge on, that for 72 hours, the legislation has to be available for everyone in the House of Representatives to read it before voting, to read and analyze and so forth. And then they have to get it through both houses. So you have to have a Republican-controlled House and a Democratically controlled Senate all willing to vote on this. I'm worried that you've got people on both sides who are not going to be happy with some of the compromises made. You've got House Republicans who would, some of them, I mean, the really crazy ones, who would rather just default. But you also have some who want deep, deep draconian cuts, or they won't vote for this. So that might be tricky. And then in the Senate, you've got Democrats who apparently are furious with Biden. This is where it gets complicated. They feel like Biden is caving in on too many things from what they're hearing, what they're being told, apparently. So they're getting frustrated. And they might end up not voting for something that they think Biden compromised on too much. So I think what ends up happening is this isn't going to work. And for the first time in American history, the president is going to have to invoke the 14th Amendment. And in doing so, then we're really in uncharted territory. It may all work out. It may all work out. I'm not optimistic that a deal is going to get done in time and legislation passed in time to avert default. I am optimistic. There are enough people now, legal scholars, constitutional scholars like Lawrence Tribe, for example, who seem pretty sure that the 14th Amendment will work and that it will hold up in court. So that's where I think it's going to end up. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I get a deal. Now, some people, there are some, particularly on the left, who say it would actually be better if Biden doesn't give in on anything and just go ahead and invoke the 14th Amendment. But those tend to be the people who are sure that it's going to work. I'm worried about a constitutional crisis, which is what happens when you have two different parts of the Constitution that are interpreted in ways that put them as sort of diametrically opposed in terms of what they mean and who can do what and who has the authority to do what, I should say. The Constitution says that, the Congress controls the wallet of the country, effectively, the purse strings, the treasury, in terms of spending money. But the 14th Amendment provision, is it 4, I think, says that our debt shall not be questioned, which many interpret to mean that the president does have, you have to pay the country's bills. The president does have the authority to use the 14th Amendment to avert a default. And my biggest worry isn't even so much about whether or not it holds up in court, because I can see that going either way. My worry with the 14th Amendment is that Janet Yellen keeps saying that it's not an option. So I'm worried Biden goes ahead and takes that option and invokes the 14th Amendment. And then Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, says, no, what are you doing? We can't do this. I told you we can't do this. And then it just doesn't happen. And then we end up defaulting. I don't know. Again, we're very much in uncharted territory. So in trying to be an optimist, I say I don't think there's going to be a deal in time. I think we've reached a point in American politics where our politics is so broken and so polarized that I don't think they're going to, even if they come up with a deal, I don't think they're going to come up with something that enough people can agree on in both the House and the Senate to get it through. So I'm pessimistic about that part, but I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic about the use of the 14th Amendment. And if the 14th Amendment is used and it holds up and it works, then great. That's the end of the debt limit. And we don't ever have to do this again. And life goes on as it should. But so that's because I have no doubt that White House lawyers right now are trying to figure out and trying to map that out, exactly what that's going to look like if that option needs to be used. The other thing that I would say, though, is, again, and I've said this many times on the show, and I'm going to try to be brief because I want to get to Erich's film review. I don't want to run behind. But I've been saying all week, or for weeks now, actually, more than just this week, I've been saying, in principle, Biden's original stated position was correct. In principle, that there should be a clean debt limit raise, and you deal with the budget when it's time to vote on a budget and in appropriations. That's where you deal with it. You should not tie that to the debt limit. Trump was right on that, too, when he was president. He's done a 180 now. Now Trump's pro default, apparently, which is insane. But he used to be on the correct side of that issue. And I think what Biden said was correct in principle, but in practice, it just doesn't work. And I hope that I hope this doesn't get held up. If they come to a deal and they get the legislation written up and it passes the House, I hope it doesn't then get stuck in the Senate because you have too many Democrats who are mad about Biden caving in on too many things, because that's how they're going to look at it. And the Democrats who look at it that way are the same ones who are right now saying, just invoke the 14th Amendment. You have the authority. It will work. I'm worried that those Democrats are so sure that they're right, because I don't know if they're right. It hasn't been tested. It's never been tested. But I'm worried that those Democrats are so certain that that it will work that they're going to vote against this bill. They're going to be the ones ultimately torpedoing it because they think Biden gave away too much. And to them and to President Biden, I would say this. I have an analogy for you. I understand some of those cuts are a bitter pill to swallow that the Republicans want. And I understand that even some conservative-minded economists have said that the original House bill that the Republicans passed to raise the debt ceiling, those cuts were so deep and so drastic and so draconian. Even some conservative-minded economists have said, whoa, that's too much. You're actually going to damage the economy if you do this. This is austerity on steroids. Come on. Now, we all know, of course, when negotiating, you start with a lot more than you think you're actually going to get and you work toward a compromise, right? We all understand that. But what I hope these Democrats understand is the Republicans hold all the cards. Take the 14th Amendment off the table for a minute. Pretend there is no 14th Amendment. And so you've got two options. You either get something passed or you default, and that's it. There's no other options, right? Republicans hold all the cards because they're in a no-lose proposition. It's a no-lose proposition for Republicans in the House. If they get some of what they want, they can crow about that. They lowered spending, and that's going to look great in all of their campaign ads and whatnot. If they don't get what they want and we default, that's also going to be good for Republicans because in the United States of America, while the economy is very complicated, people don't like to think of the economy as complicated, and they just blame whoever the president is at the time that anything goes wrong economically, or they credit whoever the president is if the economy's going well, depending on their own ideology, of course. If the economy's going well, but you don't like the guy in office, then you don't say anything, and the inverse is also true. But people, a perfect example, 1992, George H.W. Bush sent our troops in to kick Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait, ended up with a 90% approval rating because that operation was so successful. 90%, the highest ever recorded approval rating in history for any president of the United States. Hasn't been beaten since. Everybody thought he's unbeatable. He'll easily win a second term. Next thing you know, economy falls off a cliff. We go into a pretty bad recession, and Bill Clinton is being elected president, beating the guy who everyone thought was unbeatable because of the first Gulf War, because of how well it went. So, and there are a lot of arguments that could be made that, you know, what happened to the economy had nothing to do with the policies of the George H.W. Bush administration, but the buck stopped with him, so he ended up paying for it. So Republicans know the country, because they like to, everybody thinks about the economy in such a partisan, ideological, and hyper-simplified way. You know, swing voters will say, you know, I mean, Republicans will blame Biden. Democrats, in large measure, will not, but swing voters will. And that's it. If we go into default and we destroy the global economy, it will be terrible, but they know at least they'll get the White House back in 24. That's one way Trump is guaranteed a victory in 24, is if the economy crashes under Biden because of a default. So Republicans hold all the cards. If you were in a car going at a very fast speed and you're driving along and you're coming toward a cliff, and all of a sudden you realize you don't have control of the car anymore because the brakes go out, as you're going toward that cliff, you see a tree. You see a large tree. You've got two choices. You have no brakes and you're going at a fast rate of speed and it's too late to turn around. You either go over that cliff or you drive into that big tree that you know is going to stop you, but you're going at a very high rate of speed. Driving into that tree might kill you. You better hope that that airbag deploys. If the airbag deploys, you'd probably be okay. Otherwise, you're screwed. But if you go over the cliff, you're definitely dead. What I would say to Democrats is this: understand, you're either going to go over that cliff or you're going to drive into that tree. Aim for the tree. It sucks. I know. I get it. Aim for the tree. These are your choices, because the other side doesn't care ultimately. They're going to win either way. Aim for the tree, if that's all you can do. And on that happy note, Jenny said in the chat room, and where is Biden? Headed to Delaware to enjoy the holiday. His ass isn't worried about not having the money for rent, food, friggin' meds. No, I think he is worried because he knows he's going to get blamed if we go into default. I will say, I mean, it's he can be back in Washington. You know, Biden isn't negotiating. The negotiators are negotiating. You know, Kevin McCarthy isn't negotiating. The negotiators are negotiating. I don't think the optics of it are good, though. To your point, Jenny, I don't think the optics of it are good. I think he should just stay in Washington, but he won't be going far. I mean, he can go from Camp David back to the White House in, like I said, minutes. It's a short trip, but the optics are bad. He should stay home. Just like, and by home, I mean the White House. I don't mean Delaware. And I don't think the House should have adjourned for the weekend either. That also looks bad. Anyway, exciting times. I don't think let me just leave the subject this way for now. I am optimistic that it's going to be okay, because I do think the 14th Amendment will work, just based on everything that I've read, or at least it'll work temporarily. And while the 14th Amendment is in place, before it gets knocked down in court, hopefully then some sort of a deal is made to raise the debt ceiling. And in the interim, before the 14th Amendment gets struck down. So I think it'll be okay that way. But I think that's my prediction for how this goes. There you go. All right, let's get to it. This is a very popular segment on the show. This is Erich Pilcher's classic film review. Again, this week he has chosen the film Saving Private Ryan for Memorial Day, as we go into Memorial Day weekend. And then when we come back in the second hour, we're going to have Joe Williams from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks joining us, Skyping in all the way from Texas. And I really love the music that they're doing. So I look forward to talking to him. All right, here it is. Erich Pilcher's classic film review of Saving Private Ryan.
Ryan Boyd, no doubt by now you have received full information. Dear Mrs. Jensen, untimely death of your son. No words of mine can ever relieve the grief that you are. He was a fine soldier, and he believed very strongly. It's no secret anymore that we were involved in one of the most important operations of this war. I was the one who held us all together. He was always the first volunteer.
Your husband served with a combat unit whose dangerous duty is to place itself between their loads.
The loss of Lee and others like him was a sweet blow. I fully understand your desire to learn as much as possible regarding the circumstances.
Colonel, I've got something you should know about.
Yes?
These two men died in Normandy. This one in Omaha Beach.
Sean Ryan.
This man at Utah.
Peter Ryan.
This man was killed last week in New Guinea.
Daniel Ryan.
The three men are brothers, sir. I've just learned that this afternoon their mother's going to be getting all 3 telegrams. That's not all. There's a fourth brother, the youngest. He parachuted in with the 101st Airborne night before the invasion. He's somewhere in Normandy. We don't know where.
Is he alive?
We don't know.
Come with me.
All 4 of them were in the same company in the 29th Division, but we split them up after the Sullivan brothers died on the Juno.
Any contact with the fourth son, James?
No, sir. He was dropped about 15 miles inland near Neuville, but that's still deep behind German lines.
Mac, there is no way you can know where in the hell he was dropped. General, first reports out of Ike's people at Shape said the 101st is scattered all to hell and gone. There's misdrops all over Normandy. Now, assuming Private Ryan even survived the jump, he could be anywhere. In fact, he's probably KIA. And frankly, sir, we go sending some sort of rescue mission, flat-hatting throughout swarms of German reinforcements all along our axis of advance. They're going to be KIA, too.
That heart-wrenching, tragic scene you just heard was and is a reality of war. Mothers and fathers lose sons, sons and daughters lose fathers, and families lose loved ones, all to defend our freedoms that we should hold in the highest regard. This week's film encapsulates that tragedy in what 7 men endured to save just one, so a family would have one remaining son. Released in 1998, directed by film maestro Steven Spielberg. Saving Private Ryan tells the tale of Captain John Miller, played by Tom Hanks, a man tasked with leading the aforementioned 6 men on a mission during World War II to retrieve Private James Ryan, played by Matt Damon, from behind enemy lines, so he may be returned home following the death of his 3 brothers in the same war. Our next 2 clips show what Captain Miller is up against. After getting their orders, Miller's group is against the mission. They do not understand what is so important about risking their lives for one soldier. That is when Captain Miller explains how gripes work in the military. And then, Captain Miller explains why this mission is important. It is because of the detachment he feels from the person he was at home. And in order to get rid of that detachment, he has to return home to his family.
You want to explain the math of this to me? I mean, where's the sense of risking the lives of the 8 of us to save one guy?
20 degrees. Anybody want to answer that?
Driver, think about the poor bastard's mother.
Hey, Doc, I got a mother, all right? I mean, you got a mother, Sarge has got a mother. I bet even the captain's got a mother. Well, maybe not the captain, but the rest of us got mothers.
There's not a reason why, there's what to do and die. What's that supposed to mean, Corporal, huh? We're all supposed to die, is that it?
Nothing's talking about our duty as soldiers.
Yes, sir.
We all have orders we have to follow, and that supersedes everything, including your mother's.
Yes, sir, thank you, sir.
Even if you think the mission's FUBAR, sir?
Especially if you think the mission's FUBAR.
What's FUBAR? Oh, it's German. Yeah. Never heard of that. Sir, I have an opinion on this matter.
Well, by all means, share it with the squad.
Over my way of thinking, sir, this entire mission is a serious misallocation of valuable military resources.
Go on.
Well, it seems to me, sir, that God gave me a special gift, made me a fine instrument of warfare.
Gripen, pay attention now. This is the way to gripe. Continue, Jackson.
Well, what I mean by that, sir, is you used to put me and this here sniper rifle anywhere up to and including 1 mile of Adolf Hitler with a clear line of sight, sir. Pack your bags, fellas. War's over. Amen.
Oh, that's brilliant, Bumpkin. Hey, so, Captain, what about you? I mean, you don't gripe at all?
I don't gripe to you, Gripen. I'm a captain. There's a chain of command. Gripes go up, not down. Always up. You gripe to me. I gripe to my superior officer, so on, so on, so on. I don't gripe to you. I don't gripe in front of you. You should know that, or the Rangers.
I'm sorry, sir, but let's say you weren't a captain, or maybe I was a major. What would you say then?
Well, in that case, I say this is an excellent mission, sir, with an extremely valuable objective, sir. Worthy of my best efforts, sir. Moreover, I feel heartfelt sorrow for the mother of Private James Ryan, and willing to lay down my life and the lives of my men, especially you, Gripen, to ease her suffering.
He's good.
I love him.
And now, Captain Miller gets personal.
What's the pull on me up to right now? What's it up to? Wait, what is it, $300? Is that it? 300? I'm a school teacher. I teach English composition. This little town called Abley, Pennsylvania. In the last 11 years, I've been at Thomas Alva Edison High School. I was a coach of the baseball team in the springtime. Back home, and I tell people what I do for a living. They think, well, that figures. But over here, it's a big mystery. So I guess I've changed some. Sometimes I wonder if I've changed so much, my wife is even going to recognize me whenever it is I get back to her. And how I'll ever be able to tell her about days like today. Ryan, I don't know anything about Ryan. I don't care. Man means nothing to me. It's just a name. But if going to Ramel and finding him so he can go home, if that earns me the right to get back to my wife, well, then that's my mission. You want to leave? You want to go off and fight the war? All right. All right, I won't stop you. I'll even put in the paperwork. I just know that every man I kill, the farther away from home I feel.
There are very many aspects that make soldiers that have served or currently serving the epitome of heroes. And those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, they supersede hero status. One of those aspects is a sense of duty. We have heard this throughout our clips thus far. In our next one, it is even more evident. Upon locating Private Ryan, Miller tries to get him to abandon his post. Despite learning his brothers are dead, despite the low success rate of maintaining the post, he refuses to leave because his orders tell him he must stay. This scene concludes with a powerful speech by Commander Mike Horvath that sets the stage for the climactic final battle in this film.
Your brothers were killed in combat.
Which ones?
All of them.
On the level?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. You might want to take some time with this. If there's some place you want to go. And
what's this all about? Ryan lost his brothers. Which one? All of them.
You came all the way out here to tell me that?
you're going home. Our orders are to bring you back.
Bring me back.
Corporal Henderson, don't mean to leave you even more shorthanded, but orders are orders. Any communication in that when you're going to be relieved up here?
Sir, there's no way to tell. I mean, we have no idea what's happening south of us.
I have my orders too, sir. They don't include me abandoning my post.
I understand that, but this changes things.
I don't see that it does, sir.
The Chief of Staff for the United States Army says it does.
Sir, our orders are to hold this bridge at all costs. Now, our planes in the 82nd have taken out every bridge across the Murderette with the exception of two. One at Valone and this one here. We let the Germans take it, we're gonna lose our foothold and have to displace.
Private, your outfit wants to stay. That's one thing. But your party's over here.
Sir, I can't leave until at least reinforcements
You
get
got
here.
3 minutes to gather your gear.
Sir, what about them? I mean, there's barely hardly any...
Two of our guys already died trying to find you, all right?
Sir. That's right.
What were their names?
Arwen Wade and Adrian Caparzo.
Wade and...
Caparzo.
It doesn't make any sense, sir. Why? Why me? Why do I deserve to go? Why not any of these guys? They all fought just as hard as me.
Is that what they're supposed to tell your mother? When they send her another folded American flag?
Tell her that when you found me, I was here, and I was with the only brothers that I have left. And that there's no way I was going to desert them. I think she'll understand that. There's no way I'm leaving this bridge.
And now, the commander's speech on why they must save Private Ryan and stay on the bridge.
What are your orders?
Sergeant, we have crossed some strange boundary here. The world has taken a turn for the surreal.
Clearly, but the question still stands.
I don't know. What do you think?
You don't want to know what I think.
No, Mike, I do.
Well,
Part of me thinks the kid's right. What's he done to deserve this? He wants to stay here, fine. Let's leave him and go home.
Yeah.
But another part of me thinks, what if by some miracle we stay and actually make it out of here? Someday we might look back on this and decide that saving Private Ryan was the one decent thing we were able to pull out of this whole god-awful mess. That's what I was thinking, sir. Like you said, Captain. We do that, we all earn the right to go home.
Brother.
This film has been heralded since its release. Veterans of World War II have said it's the most realistic depiction of the battles that were fought. This includes the 25-minute opening battle scene on the beaches of Normandy. Spielberg, in making this film, sought consultation from known World War II writer Stephen Ambrose, whose work was eventually adapted into the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers. Its reception was also of note. It was the second highest grossing film of 1998, earning $481.8 million. It was the highest grossing video rental of all time. It garnered 5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Hanks, and Best Director for Spielberg. It won 3, including Best Director. The fact that it did not win Best Picture, Shakespeare in Love took home the award that year, is considered one of the greatest upsets in the history of the Academy Awards. This is not just a simple war movie, or even a great war movie. It is one of the greatest films ever made of any genre, bar none. Its realism, performances, and everlasting legacy make it a film that truly shows us what Memorial Day is for. Remembering those that made the greatest sacrifice for every citizen of this great country. This film is the epitome of showing us that it must be seen by everyone at any time. I hope you join me next week when we will look at the classic James Dean performance, Rebel Without a Cause. To close and honor those this weekend that made that ultimate sacrifice so we all may sleep comfortably in freedom and have the rights we cherish. I feel it appropriate to share the words that truly speak on the sacrifice these brave men and women made and continue to make, spoken by then President Ronald Reagan in 1985. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a Classic Film Review with Erich Pilcher.
Some time back, I received, in the name of our country, the bodies of 4 Marines who had died while on active duty. I said then that there is a special sadness that accompanies the death of servicemen, for we're never quite good enough to them. Not really, we can't be, because what they gave us is beyond our powers to repay. And so when a serviceman dies, it's a tear in the fabric, a break in the hold. All we can do is remember. It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise. We see them as something like the founding fathers, grave and gray-haired. But most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up 2 lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. We owe them a debt we can never repay. All we can do is remember them and what they did and why they had to be brave for us.
Oh, what a great track. That is So Far from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks. And we're going to talk to Joe in just a moment. Actually, we have him on Skype as we cross into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome. You are all the way in, where in Texas are you?
I'm in the little small town of Houston.
Houston, I've heard of it. Now, is it true, by the way, that there's no zoning in Houston? So you have you might have a house right next to a shopping mall, and then there's nothing else around it. Like the nearest gas station is 10 miles away because things aren't zoned. Everything is just kind of everywhere in Houston. Is that true?
You may see little pockets of that, but I don't think that's very common.
Okay. All right. I've heard that about Houston, and I was like, oh, that's odd. All right. Well, very good. Hey,
crazy stuff happens in Houston.
What's that?
A lot of crazy stuff happens in Houston.
Really? Okay.
I can't speak for most of it, but,
No, I understand. So we just heard So Far, and I played at the top of the show today, too. I played Molly Tried to Ruin My Life, a great track. And I really love everything that you sent us, Joe. And you've got a great sound. It's very accessible, very, really catchy stuff. I really love what you're doing. But of course, it's not just you. You're actually a duo, right? Angry Joe and the Holy Socks.
Yeah, the brains of the operation, Charlie Wang. She couldn't be here today. I'm having to do this solo, but we're very much a team. It's me and Charlie doing all the writing.
Now, when you play live, is it because I noticed one of the things that she does is she plays drums. So obviously, and I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, so I don't mean to be cliche, but there's the obvious White Stripes comparison. Is that what it's like live? Are you there with the guitar? She's there on the drums?
It depends on the setting.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll get other musicians that are good friends that we know to fill in the whatever. Sometimes Charlie will get up on the viola or the violin, and and we'll just play acoustic that way as well sometimes. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can try to cover all the bases.
Yeah. Now in Houston, because obviously in Texas, people kind of have, the stereotypical idea that it's, a lot of country music, and obviously there is a lot of country there, no doubt. But we've had some really good rock bands on the show, and what you're doing is very. Is there a lot of music around in that area that sounds like what you're doing? Because it's very. It's rock, but again, it's very, very catchy, very, very radio friendly. Like I said, that first song, the Molly Tried to Ruin My Life, is so. The first time I listened to it, I swear I had it just kind of stuck in my head for a couple of hours. Is there other music in that area? Are there other artists in that area that sound like what you're doing, or do you kind of stand out?
There may be a few. I usually reach out to my buddy in Austin if I want someone similar to play with us. Yeah, we would get my friend Jordan Barney and see who he's playing with these days. And but there's a couple people I would reach out to in Houston for sure for a similar lineup show. There's a couple out there I think that are kind of in the vein of what we're doing.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about influences? Because there's a certain name, especially on that song So Far, there's a certain band that comes to mind when I listen to that song, but I don't want to say who it is because I'm curious if you talk about influences, if the name will come up, and then I'll tell you the name that I was thinking. But can you tell me about some of your influences and some of Charlie's influences too? Not to speak for her, but I'm sure you could speak to that.
Oh yeah. Well, most of the crunk phase for Charlie, Little John, and but no, seriously, she's classically trained musician. Plays every instrument, been playing since she could walk. So she's very well versed. I was kind of more of a wild person listening to Stone Temple Pilots and partying and you know. But I've been listening to a lot of George Harrison and Jeff Lynne lately.
Yeah.
You know, I love the Beatles, and yeah, you know, they're just pretty much anything that's the Counting Crows. I'll find myself listening to them quite a bit.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
I can hear some of that. I was actually thinking the Smithereens. I don't know if you're a Smithereens fan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So far, specifically, really, I think has a cool Smithereens vibe. But yeah. So now, do you play out a lot? Do you and Charlie play a lot of shows?
Since the whole COVID deal, no. But we're starting to get geared up to get back out there. We're about halfway through with our second full-length LP. And yeah, we've got some things in mind. We're going to start hitting some stages.
Excellent. By the way, when you record, who is on the studio tracks? Is it just the two of you, or do you have other musicians who participate?
We do it all.
That's what I thought.
We try and split the duties in half.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie does all the drumming.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes she'll do the bass line. Sometimes I'll do most of the guitar work, and we'll share singing duties as well. So yeah. And it's just awesome working with her because we're kind of from two different styles, but when we get together, it just works out, and we just love, you know, writing together at the end of the day. So
yeah,
it's, you know, a favorite thing.
Well, that's pretty cool too, that you can do something that, you know, the songs, they sound like a full band, but to be able to go into the studio and be able to cover everything with just the two of you, I mean, that's kind of seems like a great way, a very convenient and sort of streamlined way to record, right? Because when you have an actual full band of four people or 5 people or whatever, or even 3 people, you know, you've got you know, it's just more to schedules to work around and everything, all that goes into it. So that's great that you're able to do it all, just the two of you, and play multiple instruments and the whole deal. That's awesome. Do you go to, is there a studio in the area that you go to, or is that all DIY, or what's your recording process like?
Well, we started out working with a producer named Justin Rose up in Buffalo, New York.
Oh.
And he did the first self-titled EP, and he did Kicking Rocks, the LP. But this most recent one, we've been going to Austin, Texas, to a studio called Hen House, and we've had a great musician and friend of mine, Jordan Barney, has been producing it. So.
Okay. Oh, very good. Very good. So I have to ask you an obvious question. Where does the name Angry Joe come from? I got to tell you, you don't seem like an angry guy, but I don't know what lurks beneath. where does that come from?
I could see how one could assume from some of the lyrics or main themes of the songs that it could be that way.
Yeah.
But no, I try to be as laid back as possible.
Yeah.
Especially like Charlie's probably the nicest person anyone's ever met.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that. But actually, just a friend of mine told me, if you ever start your own band, you should call it Angry Joe and the Holy Socks, because I think I was like ranting at her for some reason.
Yeah.
Coming across. So she was like, you know what? And she's kind of my friend Heather, she's a little out there, so. But I remembered that. I said, Angry Joe and the Holy Socks, huh? And so I did that. I used that name.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And Charlie liked it right away?
Yeah, you know, most people seem to like the name. I get a lot of positive feedback on it. So
yeah.
I thought it was a little ridiculous starting out, especially how holy is spelt like as it would be like your socks are biblical or something like that.
Right. Well, you know what's cool too is obviously, and unfortunately, not everyone realizes this, and then they end up regretting it. The ones who don't realize this is that it's always really a good idea to pick a name that you're reasonably sure nobody else is going to have, because you know there's many a horror story of somebody not just going on Spotify. You know, they have an idea for a name and they don't even go on Spotify and do a basic search, and then they're shocked when there's 10 other bands with that same name. So no, so I think that makes sense.
Rolling Stones, man.
Yeah. I mean, all the obvious names have already been, no matter how cool they may be, they've already been taken. So no, I think it's a good name, and it sticks with you. It's definitely memorable. Now, do you have any kind of so you said you're in the middle now of recording your next full length?
Yeah, we're halfway done, and we're actually about to release the first single here about probably a week from today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the artwork back, and for the album cover, and the first round of songs are polishing up, and we're ready to do her all over again and get some more music out there, because it's been a little over a year since we released Kicking Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And got to keep pumping the music out.
The 4 tracks that you sent us, are those all from Kicking Rocks?
One of them was off of the LP, or no, the EP, Leftover.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I was going to play that one at the end of the segment. Actually, I really I like that track a lot. Hopefully, when you've got the new single ready, I hope you'll email that to us, and we'll definitely play it. We'll do a world radio premiere for you here on the show. So I really like what you're doing. You've got a really cool sound. And is the new album, is it going to be kind of in the same vein of what you're doing, or any surprises?
It might be a little heavier than the previous one. I say heavier, maybe more faster hard rock songs.
Sure.
Kind of that you're not hearing much of anymore, and then a good mix of, we've got a ballad or two on there as well. So it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to the release.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we look forward to hearing with it, Joe, and we really appreciate you joining us today. What should our listeners know about how to, well, actually, in your case, it probably doesn't even matter, because you can just, you've got such an unusual name for your project. You can just Google Angry Joe and the Holy Socks, and you're very easy to find online, which is again, very important from a marketing standpoint. So I commend you on that.
Yeah, you can find us, and we have our own website, angryjoeandtheholysocks.com. Everything is on there.
Yep, it's a nice website. Who does? I'm a website nerd. Who does the site? Did you design that yourself?
Charlie kind of took control of that, and I didn't want to get in her way. She's pretty good at it, so.
Yeah. No, she did a great job. It's a nice website, very clean, very easy to navigate, which is important. Like I said, I'm kind of a geek for that stuff, so I commend her on that. Yeah, well done. All right, well, listen, Joe, we'll let you go in a second, and I am going to play that track Leftover, and I'll play another one too later at the end of the show. But I really appreciate you joining us today. I love what you're doing, and would love to play the new single on the show when it's ready, and we will do this again. And definitely we'll do a follow-up interview when the new album is ready and all of that. So. Let's stay in touch, and I really appreciate you joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely, anytime. All right, Joe from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks. Thank you, my friend, and I'm going to get to this song. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, very good, very good. Joe Williams from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks, and let's give this a listen. This is Leftover. We'll play this, and then we'll show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we will be back with our final segment today on Matt Connarton Unleashed as we embark on our Memorial Day weekend. But here it is. This is Leftover.
Thought about favorite flavor was blue, and I'll never see you again. Dirty laundry, it's beyond me how I could have ended up so sad. Is there any love left over? My heart broke over you, and there's not much left to love. Love ain't true. Is there any love left over? My heart broke right in two, and there's not much left to love. Oh, love ain't true. Forgot about you till I heard a song you knew. Then I started dreaming of them. Dirty dishes, all my wishes came true. Then I woke and started living again. Is there any love left over? My heart broke over you, and there's not much left to love. Love ain't true. Is there any love left over? My heart broke right in two, and there's not much left to love. Oh, love ain't Is there any love left over? My heart broke over you, and there's not much left to love. Love ain't true. Is there any love left over? My heart broke right in two, and there's not much left to love. Oh, love ain't true.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria. Family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria. The best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Everybody, welcome back as we cruise into our final segment today, our final segment of the week on Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is, of course, Friday, May 26, 2023. The Friday as we go into, of course, Memorial Day weekend. We will not be here Monday, by the way, for anyone who's wondering. We will be off for the holiday, but happy Memorial Day, everybody. And I hope you enjoy your weekend. And, you know, it's kind of the unofficial start to summer as we discussed earlier. But, of course, also we should remember what the day is really about. And again, thank you to our friend Erich Pilcher, who does this classic film review. And this week he chose, of course, the 1998 film starring Tom Hanks, Saving Private Ryan, and did an excellent job on that. We also talked to, not relevant specifically to Memorial Day, of course, but we did talk to Joe Williams from Angry Joe and the Holy Sox, great band from Houston, Texas, or a duo, actually. And really enjoyed talking with Joe. I love their music. We've played a few songs. We'll probably close out today's show with one more track from them. But really great stuff, great sound. So thank you to Joe Williams for joining us today as well. If you'd like to get in with a call, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. By the way, today is Friday, and Friday is my favorite day of the week here at WMNH. We've got this program. We've got Retro Spectrum Radio tonight from 8 to 11 p.m. I'm back for that. We also have, of course, Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo and Pauly Stone, coming up immediately after this show. And we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matty. It's Gary.
Hey, what's up, Gary?
That was some good music.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the group that they they reminded me of, and you said it.
Oh, the Smithereens.
I couldn't. The Smithereens. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
They have that. They have that sound. And they're from Texas, and they have a fiddle in the band.
Right. Well, apparently, Charlie apparently plays multiple instruments.
Charlie plays fiddle, She is a fiddle in the band, and it's, you got to when you play in Texas. So
that's right.
And Yeah, and I I have a question for Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is a true place. I was wondering if she knew where this place was in Vermont. It's called Tickle Naked Pond.
Oh my, that sounds dirty.
I was looking at some because they have these ridiculous names of places and roads,
Yes.
and there was one that said over yonder was one of the roads. So
Yeah.
if you live someplace and ask where it is, it's over yonder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard this one, and it's in Vermont someplace, and it's a true place.
Melanie says in the chat room, no, she does not know where that is.
Oh, so I stumped her.
I guess so.
Yeah, it seems like a fun place to go, but
I don't know.
it must be with the fish in the pond or something.
I'd be nervous. I'd be a little. I wouldn't go there with just anyone.
Yeah, you never know around there, But
oh my.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing Mike. I had a real great conversation with him the other day.
Yeah, he mentioned that in the chat room. Yes, of course. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, who will be returning tonight as one of Paul's co-hosts on Retrospectrum Radio with Pauly C.
It was really awesome. We had a really good, awesome talk, and
good. He's a great guy.
Yeah, seems like a real cool guy. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I told him I listened to the show and everything. But yeah, it was really fun. But I just wanted to, that group is awesome, and it's going to be a real fantastic weekend. So everybody get out there and enjoy the weather. We're going to have some nice 80 weather,
Good.
And send my love to you and Jenny, and have a great weekend. And I'll listen to the music tonight, as I usually do.
All right. Excellent.
Time, so.
Excellent.
But, so you guys have an awesome weekend, and everybody too.
All right, Gary. All right, you too, Gary.
We'll
Thank
talk to you again.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the call. Bye-bye. All right, very nice. Always nice to hear from Gary. Melanie says in the chat room, that pond, she must have looked it up. That pond is over an hour away from us. All right. Well, there you go. Tickle Naked Pond. 603-250-6007 is the studio line if you would like to get in with a call. 603-250-6007. Yes, so of course, Friday, very busy day here at WMNH. We do have a Granite State of Mind immediately after this show. And then tonight, I'm back for Retrospectrum Radio with Pauly C, along with DJ Steve and Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, who Paul says will be returning this week. And I do see Queen City Cabinetry, LLC, in the chat room as well. But here's what Paul has planned for tonight on Retrospectrum Radio. He put this on social media. Last year on Retrospectrum Radio, we presented an evening of AC/DC songs with lead singer Bon Scott. And tonight we'll be featuring AC/DC with lead singer Brian Johnson. He's the dude who took over for Bon when he unexpectedly died in 1980. Bon sang Highway to Hell. Brian sang Back in Black. Yes, that will be this evening on Retrospectrum Radio with Pauly C. And I do believe my dad is on the line. Hello.
Hey, Matt. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Listen, God, that band, or duo, as you say, was it Angry Charlie? Now I forget already.
Angry Joe.
Angry Joe.
Yes.
Angry Joe and the Holy Socks.
Yes.
Holy cow, that was really good.
Yeah, they
so
are.
I just want to say, I'm going to be brief, but I do have a proposal.
Uh-huh.
There are about 6 issues I want to talk about with DeSantis. No, I'm just kidding. So here is the thing, though. I thought we could do a quick, on a positive note, and again, before I even say that, I want to wish everybody a sacred Memorial Day. That was a great presentation by Erich, one of my favorite movies. I don't think you've seen it, Matt. Have you seen that one?
I've never actually seen Saving Private Ryan. Believe it or
not.
I've
seen that, yeah.
No,
that's good. Yeah, I know it's a long movie, but I think it's Tom Hanks' best performance. But he's been in a lot of good movies.
Oh yeah,
he's a solid actor. He's got the talent.
Yeah, he's had quite a career.
But yeah, that oh my God, that Saving Private Ryan. I think your grandfather, of course, who made the Normandy landing in hand-to-hand combat and everything, and survived. But
yeah,
we won't get into all that. But kudos to Erich and all your listeners worldwide who support Erich and his presentations.
Mm-hmm.
I thought what we'd do is just do a quick true-false. What do you think? Just
Oh,
three.
sure. Yeah, let's do it.
It's music, and it has to do with music, and I'm sure Gary will get a kick out. And I don't want to name everybody who'll get a kick out of it, Ron, et cetera, et cetera. But it has to do with Pat Boone and what's that guy's name, Matt? Let's see. Bill Haley and the Comets. No, Elvis Presley.
Oh, okay.
So here we go. We'll go through the three, and then we'll go back to the one.
Okay.
These are not the most difficult, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Number one, true or false? By 1959, both of these wonderful in my judgment, I love them both, wonderful artists had broke all records for pop hits. Before then, it was Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett, but they had 6, 8, 9, maybe, but they broke all records. And they almost tied. It was 41 to 40. 41 to 40, guys. And Elvis had the 41, just one more than Pat Boone. True or false, number one. Number two, Pat Boone, who has always been someone who has faith, and he's in a church now in California called the Church on the Way. And I know, I'm a Catholic guy, but I love my Protestant brothers. They have a good reputation. Pat Boone still has a show on every Saturday night. So anyway, but Elvis was, though he had the edge with Pat on, I was going to say soul singing, on gospel music, which is soul singing in a sense. Mm-hmm. But he had the edge, but he wasn't going to church. And Pat Boone was, and Pat said, listen, I'm in touch with people like Rex Hubbard and others. We could meet them. They could bless you. We could do the salvation prayer, and you could come to church with me and others. And Elvis was convinced and said, okay, Pat, I'll do that. True or false? Finally, number three. Pat, of course, had his own problems in his marriage, but he's always, been in a marriage with Shirley, whose dad was a famous country singer. I won't go into all that.
Mm-hmm.
But Elvis, before he married, and of course after he married there was trouble, but before he married in 1967, he was kind of fooling around, Matt, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat Boone said, you got to stop that, and you're a Christian man. You settle down and marry the love of your life. And Elvis said to him this statement, why should I buy the cow when I can get the milk free? Oh. Now, did he really say it, true or false? Okay, let's go to number one, Matt. 41 to 40. I hope Tommy is listening to this because Paul should know this. 41 to 40, almost a tie. Elvis gets the edge over Pat Boone. True or false?
I said false. I would think in 1959, Pat Boone would have still been ahead of Elvis. But I say
you are absolutely correct, Matt. And that's good reasoning, Matt. You're absolutely right. It took Elvis a while to catch up. Pat was ahead of him, 41 to 40.
Okay.
Number two, they both sang great, transcendent, metaphysical gospel music. I love it. I love them both doing that work. But I give for my personal love, I give the edge to Elvis.
Yeah.
No one sang gospel like Elvis. But anyway, but he wasn't going to church, and Pat said, come on, I'll introduce you to Rex Hubbard and Jimmy Swaggart and these people, and we'll get you back to church. And Elvis said, okay, I'll do it. True or false?
I've not heard that story, but I'm going to say true.
No, it's actually sadly false, Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, he never consistently, Elvis never, and you got to remember, too, that we didn't know it at the time. I certainly didn't know it at the time, and it wasn't published, but Elvis was already struggling with drug and alcohol abuse badly, and they were covering that up. So that one would be false. Okay, the final one, here we go. Elvis said to Pat, after Pat kept, and they were good friends, by the way, right up till Elvis's death. Pat was devastated in 1977, as was I and his fans. But Elvis came back with this remark, why indeed should I buy the cow when I can get the milk free? True or false?
I've certainly heard that expression, but I hope that Elvis wouldn't say that. So I said false.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Patty.
no. Elvis said that? Oh, that's...
Elvis said that, yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
You know what's sad is, that's all right. You got 1 out of 3. Man, that's not bad. Hopefully your audience, they were participating in their quiet way. But, it's sad because Elvis, he married what appeared to be, I remember that. I was overseas at the time, but he married the love of his life, even though she was a lot younger. But after the birth of Lisa, I won't go into it all, but he did not show a lot of respect for his beloved. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that was, he was what other entertainer was like Elvis? I mean, he was just metaphysical in his presentation. And he was a great actor, by the way, too.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get the good roles. They kept rolling over these terrible movies ultimately. But King Creole and Jailhouse Rock, I mean, those are good movies. People don't watch them anymore, I don't think. But Elvis had everything going for him. So if he wanted, let me put it this way, if he wanted to date, even though he was married, he was dating, unfortunately.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's a shame. But I'll stop on that note. One band I always loved, Matt. I know you love Kiss, and I love the Beatles and the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, and not that you don't like them.
Yeah.
But have you ever listened to the Flying Burrito Brothers? Do you remember them?
Yes, I'm aware of them, and I know that I've heard them. But I've a number of people have mentioned to me over the years I should give them another look.
I would agree with them, Matt.
Yeah.
They had of course Chris Hill, but they had Graham Parsons. That man was so talented and so creative.
Yeah.
And of course he had a thing going with Emmylou Harris for a while and helped her. But unfortunately, again, he died of a terrible drug overdose, and he's like 26 years old.
Oh,
But the
really?
way they harmonized, Matt.
Yeah.
They're like Poco, another group.
Yeah.
The early Buffalo Springfield,
Yeah.
And Beach Boys. They got that great harmony. They can slow it down. They can speed it up. And the musicians are just sophisticated as all get up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll stop there. Happy Sacred Memorial Day. I got in trouble once when I said Happy Memorial Day to someone I respected a great deal.
Yes. She was not happy.
So you learn a lesson.
I remember that. I remember that story. Yeah, she was not happy with you. Oh well, doesn't always work out.
To a war veteran now, she's going to throw a pie in my face. But we had our fun. That was the main thing, I guess.
It was a long time ago.
And we still respect each other.
Good.
So
Good.
All right, Matt. Love you. I'll let you go. My regards to Jenny and everyone. Keep up the good work. You're doing well.
All right. Love you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Jeff. Take care.
All right, very good. That was my dad. That was Martin Connarton. Very good. A little trivia there. Boy, although I did, true or false, I did horribly on that. I only got 1 out of 3. Damn. Anyway, but that was fun. My dad, of course, is a veteran. He was a Navy SEAL. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007. If you would like to get in with a call, we do have a little bit of time left. I do want to finish saying hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Very busy chat room today. Yardbird Blue Sky, who I'm pretty sure is from Greensboro, North Carolina, joins us in the chat and says, "Good afternoon, #Matt. We say to you from us, we are going to be performing soon as we can. Where's President Biden, we say." Melanie had pointed out in the chat room that Sonny Bono, he died running into a tree. That's a reference to an analogy I made during the first hour involving the debt limit. If you missed it, of course, you'll be able to go back and hear it in the archive. We do archive all the shows at WMNHradio.org. Jenny said, this is regarding, we were talking earlier about how the House went home, Biden's going to Camp David, the House is already adjourned, the House of Representatives. Jenny said they should be locked in chambers until the work is done the New Hampshire way, damn it. Yes, they actually do that. In the New Hampshire state legislature, they'll lock you in. They'll lock the doors if you have more to do. Yardbird Blue Sky says, we will hopefully you can check our Facebook like page. I'm right on it, Yardbird Blue Sky. Miriam is in the chat room. Tom Blanchard says, regarding Erich's classic film review of Saving Private Ryan, Tom said, I love this movie. Yardbird Blue Sky concurs and says, awesome movie, we say. We will be watching is Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C at 8 p.m. Wonderful. Appreciate that. Crystal, our friend from the great state of Illinois, says, again, this is regarding the, everybody kind of going home for the weekend as the country sits on the precipice of economic disaster. Crystal says, when there are time constraints on legislation, that's exactly what they should do. No trips or time off. Get the job done or else you don't go home until it is. You'll see them responsibly compromise with each other eventually. Maybe even the extreme factors of both parties, or factions rather, of both parties, will have accountability on their BS by their peers, so will be less apt to hold up legislation if they know their own people will turn on them and won't put up with their antics. Well said. I agree, Crystal. I agree. Scott Robinson says, again, regarding Saving Private Ryan, this movie is definitely in my top 5 every time I see it on I Can't Change a Channel Ever. The most heart-wrenching scene in this movie was the German soldier they let go, and he came back and killed one of our soldiers. Crystal says, great job, Erich. Saving Private Ryan was a great movie. Jenny says, well done, Erich Pilcher. Joe Pilcher, who I believe is Erich's cousin, says, nice. Tom Blanchard says, so proud of our guys. Thank you so much. Melanie La Liberty says, nice job, Erich. Yes, Erich getting a lot of kudos for his classic film review. Queen City Cabinetry LLC, who, of course, is Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, says, good job, Erich. And yes, very popular segment on the program. And our friend Shannon is on the line. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Hello.
Huh?
I said hello.
Okay.
That's how you say it.
Phones. What was I going to say? You just mentioned something about. All I heard you say was he came back and killed one of our soldiers. Are you talking about Chris Kyle?
No. In Saving Private Ryan. Now, I haven't seen the film, but apparently there's a scene where they let one of the German soldiers go, and then he comes back and kills one of our soldiers.
Okay, because the reason I say that, American Sniper, I believe, Chris.
Different movie,
Kyle,
different thing. I mean, obviously that's a true story,
Hmm?
but yeah, no, we were talking about Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah.
A very good review.
Yes, he does a wonderful job.
But I think he's the one that started the Warrior program. Christopher Kyle. I'm not positive on that, but anyway.
Okay.
I got one thing you got to ask Pauly C. How come he didn't put Last Dance, Last Chance on? I don't know the name of the song. All I know is those words. Do you know what I'm talking about? Last Dance.
Is that Donna Summer? It's a disco song, right? Last Dance, Last Chance. Yeah.
Last Chance,
Yeah. I know the song.
He didn't put it on there though. I was waiting for it.
I thought you were waiting for the theme to Cagney and Lacey.
Oh, I'll be waiting for that.
Yeah, I think he's
Told
playing that tonight. AC/DC had covered that with Brian Johnson singing.
Yes. Tonight's, is it a two-parter?
Yes, it's a two-parter.
Well, no, meaning this weekend, tonight though, right?
I'm just kidding. DJ Steve is in the chat room and says, hi, Shannon, miss you.
Hello, who?
DJ Steve.
Hi, Steve. Hi, DJ Steve. Yes, miss you too.
He's in the chat room. He misses you. Did you guys have a thing?
Yes, we did.
Okay, very nice. How long were you together? Spill the tea.
It was fun, and it was flighty, and it was fast, and it forever.
You said it was fast? Well, that's disappointing.
Forever, though.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Right.
But no, I don't want to screw everybody up. Everybody's eyeballs are going around their heads right now. But heads up, full moon a week from today. So
yeah, but he was fast.
That on top of prayers for everybody,
Yes. Boy, you're cramming a lot of ideas into a couple of sentences there, Shannon. But yes, I will ask him why he didn't play the theme for Cagney and Lacey or Last Dance.
Okay, because I know sometimes you guys can't play stuff because of copyright infringements or something, right?
Right. We're really not allowed to play anything.
Okay.
Because of copyright infringement. So that's why sometimes it's just white noise. That's all we're allowed.
Well, you know, and you should ask Erich the next time you talk to him. I had asked one of the girls at Creamland a few years back, I said, why did you stop playing the music?
Mm-hmm. Why did they?
She told me something about how, well, we can't play it because of copyright, blah, blah, blah.
Well, the thing is, that does get a little tricky because if somebody from one of these music rights organizations like BMI or ASCAP, they actually have and by the way, people will think I'm making this up. This is not a joke. They actually have agents, for lack of a better term, that they send in undercover to places and bust them for not paying for the licensing to be playing music. Now, we are a radio station. We're a federally licensed radio station, Shannon. So I was kidding what I said about how we can't play anything. We can actually play whatever we want to.
Yes, I know, but it was just weird going to Creamland and not having the speakers with the
right.
The
Creamland, they cannot just play. Not only do they not have a public...
They did for how many years?
Not only do they not have a public bathroom, they do not have permission to just play all this music. And apparently an end has been put to their chicanery.
Yeah. They need to fill in that I don't know what it's called. It's not a driveway, the lot.
The lot?
Right in front of all the windows, there's a gulch there. And when
a
it rains,
gulch?
there's puddles.
Well...
Big ones. You could lose a small dog in that.
Well, that's not... why did that happen? Did you lose a small dog in the gulch?
I did. I lost a very small dog, and it just floated right
and
away.
And it's in the gulch? It might still be there.
Well,
have you searched?
Have you ever been there?
I've been there.
Yeah.
That's how I know they don't have a public bathroom. It's very upsetting.
Yes. Well, 2 years ago, they didn't have the picnic table set up.
I mean, they could just let people go in the gulch.
No, yeah.
The health department might not allow that, though. But, I mean, it is a gulch. Might as well put something in it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's water there already.
Mm-hmm.
Just add a little more.
Yeah. Well, all right, Shannon.
All right. You have fun tonight.
Thank you.
DJ Steve, Pauly, see everybody, Mike, and Jenny. Y'all have a nice weekend.
All right, Shannon. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Always nice to hear from our friend Shannon. We are almost out of time, so we will... did I miss anybody in the chat room? It's a very busy chat room. I don't like to leave anybody out. Erich Pilcher is in the chat room, by the way. Let's see. And very good, very good. Yeah, so tonight, let me just read this again so you know what's coming up tonight here, because Fridays are very busy at WMNH 95.3 if you are listening live. Stick around. Up next is Up next is Granite State of Mind, hosted by Rob Azevedo and Pauly Stone during the warm weather, during the summer-ish months. They record all the shows at Pembroke City Limits, the wonderful venue that Rob set up in his garage, that Rob and Pauly Stone set up in the barn, rather. I'm sorry, in the barn. And it is amazing, truly remarkable what they've done. So that'll be coming up. And then I'm back tonight for Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. I'm one of Paul's co-hosts on that show, along with DJ Steve and the returning Mike from Queen City Cabinetry. And tonight the subject is, it's part 2 of AC/DC tonight. It is the Brian Johnson era. And I know Paul's planning to play not the songs you hear all the time on classic rock stations, but some gems that you don't hear all the time. So that'll be very cool. And don't forget, tomorrow at the Hop Knot, there is an event. Actually, Hop Knot's got a couple of things going on tomorrow. Our amazing sponsor right across the street at 1000 Elm Street. They've got those delicious gourmet pretzels. They have an assortment of craft beer. And tomorrow is drag trivia to raise money for the New Leaders Council, New Hampshire. We'll have some raffles, prizes, and some drag numbers from Chi Chi Marvel and Glam Chowda from the House of Marvel Entertainment. Call ahead to reserve a spot. That is tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. And then tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. I don't know if it's Barger or Barger. Let's go with Barger. Mike Barger will be performing live at the Hop Knot. They have live music every Saturday night. Speaking of music, We'll end the show with one more track from our friends Angry Joe and the Holy Socks. And thank you again to Joe from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks for Skyping in earlier. Thank you, of course, everyone who called today. Thank you, Erich Pilcher, for another wonderful classic film review. We appreciate it very much. Great job. If you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. Everyone, please have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. The roads are going to be busy, so be careful out there. And we'll leave you with this one more track. This song is called Halfway. And this is, of course, from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks. To close out today's Matt Connarton Unleashed, we'll talk to y'all. Well, I'll talk to you tonight on Retro Spectrum Radio, of course. Otherwise, on this show, we'll talk to you on Tuesday. We'll be off on Monday for the holiday. So talk to you next week. And hopefully the next time we speak, there will be a deal in place and there will be voting happening, and we will have successfully averted an economic collapse. But we'll see. That's the adventure of it all, isn't it? All right, this is Halfway from Angry Joe and the Holy Socks to close out this week's, or this Friday's, today's, whatever, the week of Matt Connarton Unleashed. I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
To kill me, I won't let them go. And maybe patience sets you free. I wouldn't know. Airbag, dust, car crash, debris, all in my nose. I hope no one's messed up like me, but I know you're out there. Take me halfway there and all the way down. Happy with the mess I